for tires and be confident you'll get a great deal from experts who installed over 3 million tires last year. Confident enough to rock the mic at karaoke night.
Hey, man, you're all that I ever need.
Now get up to $140 in mail-in rebates on select tires when you use the Ford Service credit card at the Big Tire event. Ford Service. Go with confidence.
Subject to credit approval. Rebate by prepaid debit card. Other tire manufacturer rebate or offer cannot be combined with Ford Service credit card rebate or offer. See your participating Ford dealer for details through 12/31/14.
Hey, Bob, how's business? Is the new website helping?
Not good. I can't figure out how to get the website finished. How did you do it?
Easy. I called Web.com. They built my website for free. Then they promoted it on all the search engines.
Like Google, Yahoo, and Bing?
Exactly. And Web.com has helped grow my business so much, I had to bring on new staff.
Hey, if Web.com did it for you, they're perfect for me.
Call now 1-800-535-8815. That's 1-800-535-8815. Again, 1-800-535-8815.
The restaurant we've all been waiting for is here. Introducing Ipan Mano Kitchen. Critically acclaimed chef Silva Sennett and his culinary team specialize in new American Asian cuisine. The very best in Chinese, Japanese, Thai food with an American flair. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Ipan Mano Kitchen is located inside the Patrick Henry Mall in Newport News. Call 249-0033 and log on to ipanmanokitchen.com. Find them on Twitter at ipanmano.
Hello, this is Big Bear inviting you to visit myself and Grandma Bear at Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you'll find the best new and gently used children's brand name clothing and equipment. Clothing from newborn to teens. Dresses, suits, shoes, strollers, bassinets, toys, and anything else you need. Little Bear's is your stop. We even carry maternity clothes. Check us out on Facebook or stop in 200 North Battlefield Boulevard in the Harbor Watch Shops of Chesapeake near the locks. Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you're always greeted with a smile.
Excellent Italian food is found at Spaghetti Eddie's, a neighborhood restaurant with a great family atmosphere and delicious Italian cuisine. Define Spaghetti Eddie's. New York-style pizza, pasta, subs, calzones, soups, salads will bring you back again and again. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Greenbrier and Western Branch. Quality Italian food is at Spaghetti Eddie's.
Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
And thank you very much, Ken Johnson, on this beautiful summer-like day in the fall, October 29th, 2014. Folks, we got a lot to get to today because we're going to be idle next week because the hockey team is playing next Wednesday. So we'll be back again in 2 weeks. Don't forget, in a few weeks as well, we're going to have our fan listener forum. They're going to come here in the studio, Ken. That'll be really an exciting show.
Oh, yeah. It was a good time last time. The guys did a really good job of talking about just about everything under the sun, including sports. So, yeah, we'll have a lot of... Is Bishop coming back? Well, I'm just going to wear my Sinatra outfit, and just kind of shock him a little bit.
That's like saying, is Pat Murphy going to come back, too? But anyway, only in voice, folks. Presented by the India Palace, of course. Sports Scene is an interview show each Wednesday from 12 to 1. Don't forget sports highlights on nnpstv.com. And, of course, this is your home for CBS News. Tell your friends about 1650 on Facebook. Find me on Twitter at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV, at HR1LineMall.com. Thank you to our military. Of course, great guest lineup today. Featured guest Mike Corey from ESPN will join us, play-by-play announcer. Sponsors on GJBTV.com, marketplace sponsors. Guest lineup presented by Hampton Roads, OnlineMall.com. Phone line presented by Spaghetti Eddie's in Chesapeake with 2 locations. Sponsors this month, of course, India Palace, Little Bears, Spaghetti Eddie's, Ipan Mano Restaurant, of course, In Array, and Crazy Good Donuts and Ice Cream. Ken, that sounds like a really, really yummy place as well.
Yeah, it does. If you like good food and yummy stuff, yummy should be what they call them. Yummy stuff.
That's right. Of course, when we tell you about some of our great sponsors too, our testimonials, of course, talk about good food, folks. Go to Bravo Pizzeria and Restaurant at 13144 Jefferson Avenue in Newport News. Go by and see Eunice. Great, delicious pizza. Of course, gourmet pizza, stromboli, calzones, combo meals, gyros, kebabs, paninis, appetizers, salads, you get the picture, seafood burgers, and cold subs. Open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner. Phone number is 234-4684 as well. Bravo means good in Greek. Of course, right next to the Toyota dealership up there in Denby and Jefferson Avenue, Bravo Pizzeria and Restaurant. Stay tuned for our next guest. We'll be back with Sports Scene live on News Talk 1650 and tunein.com. Type in WHKT. Stay tuned.
The restaurant we've all been waiting for is here. Introducing Ipan Mano Kitchen. Critically acclaimed chef Silva Sennett and his culinary team specialize in new American Asian cuisine. The very best in Chinese, Japanese, Thai food with an American flair. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Ipan Mano Kitchen is located inside the Patrick Henry Mall in Newport News. Call 249-0033 and log on to ipanmanokitchen.com. Find them on Twitter at Ipan Mano.
Hello, this is Big Bear inviting you to visit myself and Grandma Bear at Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you'll find the best new and gently used children's brand name clothing and equipment. Clothing from newborn to teens. Dresses, suits, shoes, strollers, bassinets, toys, and anything else you need. Little Bear's is your stop. We even carry maternity clothes. Check us out on Facebook or stop in 200 North Battlefield Boulevard in the Harbor Watch Shops of Chesapeake near the locks. Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you're always greeted with a smile.
The place for authentic Indian food is the India Palace. They feature authentic Indian cuisine, have a party hall, and do catering and banquets. Open daily for lunch and dinner, they feature an excellent lunch buffet at their 2 establishments. Visit the 2 locations, 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake off Battlefield and 5600 Virginia Beach Boulevard. Online, IndiaPalaceVB.com. On Facebook, look for India Palace Virginia Beach and India Palace Bar and Grill. Call 410-1183 for the India Palace. Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
And I got to admit, every time I hear this music, it reminds me of that show Gotham. I've talked about it a lot on the radio. One of the better shows on Fox on Monday night at 8 o'clock, folks. You don't want to miss that show. Excellent, excellent show. And, of course, we got a lot of restaurants to promote here as well. Balkan Cuisine a little bit later, as well as El Gran Mayo. But don't forget this segment with Mike Corey, sponsored by Soprano Italian Restaurant in Newport News at 12588 Warwick Boulevard. Give them a call at 930-2350. That's 757-930-2350. Open for lunch and dinner, pizza, pasta, subs. They've got it all. Great special. Go by and see Moody. Large 2-topping pizza, wings, and soda for $18.99. With that said, you've seen him on the ESPN family of networks, former voice of Delaware on the radio. Let's welcome Mike Corey to Virginia Beach. Mike, how are you, my friend?
Hey, Greg, what's going on, man? How are you?
Very good. Tell us about your background, Mike. You've done an extensive background in radio and TV. You've done a lot of work in Delaware, of course, and that must be a great thrill to do radio and TV both at this level.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, I'm really very, very fortunate, to be honest with you. I went to school at UMass up in Amherst, Massachusetts, and pretty much knew I kind of wanted to do this, and was hoping to find an opportunity right after college. And I couldn't have been more, again, fortunate to get the job at Delaware doing the play-by-play for Delaware football and basketball. So that's kind of how I got my start right after school. So I was only 21 years old, moved down here to Delaware. I was doing the games on the radio with them, and then also working at the radio station doing some sales on that side as well. So did that for 13 years, from '99 up to about 2011, the 2011 season to 2012. And then pretty much I started to focus on TV. So I got a lot of opportunities with Comcast Sportsnet, in the Baltimore, Washington area, CN8 up in Philadelphia. And that just kind of, morphed its way over to ESPN and, a bunch of games with them and NBC and Fox. And it's been pretty fun. So I can't complain at all.
We're talking to Mike Corey, play-by-play announcer for ESPN. And kind of interesting story with Mike. I met him at the CAA tournament. It was in Richmond when I was part of Red Zebra. We were doing the postseason on Virginia Beach and Richmond markets with Red Zebra and ESPN 950 in the game down in Virginia Beach, and Mike was doing Delaware. Interesting story, too. My sister and him and myself have all worked together. We've been his stage managers, so we know Mike very well from a TV standpoint. Folks, truly, truly a professional. Mike, and you talk about your schedule during football. It's a little bit buttoned up because it's only once a week, so you know what game you're going to be at. But how much notice do you get for a game, and how does the preparation, tell the fans how the preparation goes, let's say for a game that's further on the road compared to a game that's more local by your house?
Yeah, it's this year has been interesting for me because normally, over the years I've kind of had a schedule or I know when the certain games are, but ESPN does what they call like a 7 or 8 or even 9 day, whatever it is, kind of like a pick for what game they want to do. So they decide, outside of the big games, obviously it's Saturday night stuff, and even the I think they even pays up that kind of stuff too, depending on who's playing well and what's going on. So. We don't really know where we're going to be until like the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the previous week. So, we're kind of getting ready for, one game on that weekend. And then all of a sudden, we see the schedule on Thursday or Friday and they're like, oh, yep, you're going out to Utah. So, okay. So, first thing is just to kind of get the plans and the travel squared away. Once we get that, then you just kind of wait till you finish up your first game there that you had that weekend and then work on the next one. But, yeah, for me, I typically like to get the rosters built for each team Sunday and Monday, and what that means is kind of putting in all the players' names and numbers and heights and weights and where they're from, and then filling in all the stats, like the season stats, what all their numbers are. So I like to have all that done by Monday at the latest, and then that way for Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, actually right before I talked to you here, I had a conference call with the East Carolina coaches doing East Carolina and Temple this week. So we usually do a conference call with the away team, and then on the Friday before the game, we meet with the home team with their coach, head coach, offense and defensive coordinators. We're talking to the producer during the week, talk to my analyst, during the week, read up on all the game notes for each team, put everything down from that. I put a bunch of stats and schedules and, information on each team together. So there's a lot of stuff. Put the board together on Thursday, and that's like my whole spotter board with offense and defense for each team. And then Friday, you're on the meetings, and you're preparing, and you're trying to memorize some names and numbers. And then, boom, Saturday, it's game day. So it's not as easy, I guess, as many people think. If you get uninterrupted time where you're able to work on stuff, then, you can get it done a lot quicker. But, normally it's a process throughout the whole week.
Sure is, and of course it's a little bit easier for football because basketball, the stats change literally by the day. Football, that nothing changes from week to week because if you have a game on Saturday, that's what you got to go on until the following Saturdays. We're talking to Mike Corey, and works for a myriad of networks. Greg Bicouvaris along with Ken Johnson live right here on the radio at 12:17. Also anywhere in the world, tunein.com. Type in WHKT to listen on your phone and your computer. And explain that too, Mike, because you work for a various amount of different networks, not just ESPN.
Yeah, I'm fortunate that in this respect that, I'm not exclusive to any one of the networks as of yet. Which, if you are, you've probably got more of a bigger contract or,
Sure.
a more set amount of games, which, I don't have right now at the moment. But still, you kind of get the best of both worlds because right now, most of my football I work on ESPN. All my basketball for right now is on NBC Sports Network. I'm doing some basketball, actually, for Fox Sports 1. I should mention that. And then come the springtime, lacrosse, I go back to ESPNU and do lacrosse on ESPN. But every other network's kind of had their hand in a little bit of stuff. So I might do a lacrosse game or two for somebody else or a basketball game or two for somebody else. But that's kind of the process right now until someday, I work with just one network and then you're exclusive to them and then you're not hopping around. But it's hard because each network has, a little bit of their own stuff that, I enjoy doing. Like, you think about NBC, they don't do a ton of football. Obviously, it's Notre Dame and then Sunday Night Football, so we're not really going to jump our way to that anytime soon. So there's not really much else they do, so you can't really work there. ESPN obviously does everything. But then, basketball-wise, I'm not really on their contract, so they have to work with their guys and feed the games to the people that they have to fill there. So you gotta kind of find work elsewhere. So for right now, it's been good. I mean, everybody has a little bit of everything. Fox has done a nice job too. So there's no complaining there at all. But there's a lot to juggle. Different networks, different producers, directors, analysts. It's a challenging act.
Sometimes you have to write down what network you're at just for your own peace of mind, because a few weeks ago we worked together at the Hampton-Norfolk State game in Hampton. The game was live on ESPN3, but it aired later. I saw it that night on ESPNU. And, of course, this week you'll be, I believe, on ESPN News, correct?
Right. This game's on ESPN News live at 12 o'clock. It's a good one. I really look forward to this one. East Carolina, they're ranked. They're playing great. They got one of the top offenses in the country. So that's going to be a fun game to call. But, it varies, man. It's all over the place.
Well, let's talk about this college football ranking system. It just came out yesterday. Number 1, Mississippi State. Number 2, Florida State. Number 3, Auburn. Number 4, Mississippi. And, of course, it's still a work in progress, Mike. But the SEC West, 3 of the 4 teams.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. This is the first poll. Obviously, it's going to get a lot of talk and discussion. But you know what? Come next week, there'll be a lot of talk and discussion on whatever the poll is next week. I mean, it's going to change. In fact, I'd rather, if you're a team and you're really good and you're not in the top 4 for right now, it's like, hey, don't worry. Less pressure on you. Just go out and keep winning and don't worry about it. But those guys up there now, they're all real concerned to make sure they're keeping their spot. They might play a little more tentative. I mean, Auburn to me, I guess maybe is the question mark. But, I mean, again, it's so early that it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just the first one. I would say as you get a little bit closer, and then okay, if you lose, you're definitely out. Or if you win, I mean, that's when it really becomes to be a factor because, say one of those teams loses right now. Who knows? They might still be able to get themselves back into it. I mean, there's another 7 weeks to go. So plenty of time. I wouldn't be overly concerned about who they selected, yesterday.
And, of course, where you live at currently is a big NFL area with the Eagles, of course, and the New York teams are not too far away. You went to school in Massachusetts, so you're right in the middle of big-time talk radio up there. But you look at the rest of the 5, Oregon, Alabama, TCU, Michigan State, Kansas State, Notre Dame, all of them are buttoned-up teams, and anything can happen. One thing about people always say NFL, college football, as we're talking to Mike Corey from ESPN, is the fact that the NFL gets it right with the playoffs. The 6 teams from the AFC, the 6 teams from the NFC. The overtime rule. I kind of like the NFL better because it's going to be done after the first quarter no matter what. College, the pageantry is there, but this playoff system with 4 teams, it's really you're going up against something like the NBA or the NFL that's been doing playoffs for years. There's going to be a lot of controversy no matter who those 4 teams are.
Well, I mean, there's controversy before this when there's only 2 teams, so, you're right, but I think it's better, and it's certainly moving in the right direction, and then obviously I think down the road it's going to end up being 8 teams, or, it's going to keep expanding, and then we see the FCS playoffs, the level right below, they used to have 12, and then they went to 16, now they have 24, so there's 24 teams to make the FCS playoffs, which I think is great. Mm-hmm. I mean, you talk about, that's been going on for years, so, that's the best in my opinion, but it's because the season is done the weekend before Thanksgiving. So you're able to bang out another 5 weeks and then have a championship, which, ends up being in January. So it's the same type of thing. It's just the bowls, traditionally on New Year's and, all of that and the season going way longer that prohibits that from happening. I mean, if it wasn't for the bowls and the Rose Bowl's always on the first,
Sure.
If it wasn't for that, they would definitely, I think it would be a lot easier to put the same system in place, So, I mean, someday, if that ever happens and, somebody just kind of sucks it up and says, okay, we still got our bowl. It just happens to be on November or December 12th or whatever, and it still means something. I don't know. I think you'd have more people, wanting to go to that as opposed to just watching, and the big ones are different, but watching some meaningless 6-6 team take on somebody else. I mean, they could all have more meaning, actually. You can make some of the earlier bowls be like the first or second round, and then that's like, oh, wow, cool. That's even better, So someday it'll get to that point. You're always going to argue about who's in, no matter whether there's 2, 4, or 16, but
right.
They're moving in the right direction. I like it a lot.
We're talking to Mike Corey. Final few moments right here. Gracious with his time, his talent, and his treasure right here. Greg Bicouvaris along with Ken Johnson live on the radio. Follow me at Greg Bick on Twitter. Are you big into the social media, Mike, as far as Twitter and Facebook are concerned?
Nah, you know what? I'll be honest. I'm really not. I mean, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, but I don't tweet. I mean, it's so funny. People will follow me. I mean, I feel bad. I just don't tweet. I don't know why. I probably will, as things move on down the road. I mean, I'm on Facebook. I'll definitely post, stuff where I'm at, what's going on. But to me, I'm doing the game. I mean, I'm calling the game. Like, the analysts sometimes will use that too, but it's like, what are you going to say? What are you trying to tell people that they can't even see or that you're going to just say on the air in a moment anyway?
Right.
I mean, it's like I need to pay attention to the game, and when we go to timeouts, that's not time to mess around or be on your phone. I mean, that's we got to talk to the producer, we got to talk to the director, we got to find out where we're going next, we got to review some information. I mean, so to me, game-wise, I don't have the time for that, unfortunately, and I'm on the air, so I'm just going to say it, But I don't know. I think there's a lot of good, obviously, but then there's a lot of bad. I mean, there's a lot of ways to get in trouble and say things you shouldn't have said and didn't realize what you said, and then why would I want to have to go through all that and worry about the bad that could potentially come? I think that sometimes overshadows and outweighs a little bit of the good, depending on what you say or how you phrase it.
No, and I totally agree. I was referring to the before and after, not actually during the game. During the game, there's no way you can do that. I mean, just too much. It's almost like air traffic control. And I like how when you do a game, you have everything in place, your spotter, your statistician. You put me in my position where I got to be at. It's easy for you to access. And that's the key thing. You've got to have a clear mind, clear focus. And it's almost like a military regiment. You have to go to bed at a decent hour, eat the right food, because people don't realize. They always ask you, Greg, who do you root for? And I tell the fans all the time, when I was a kid, I was a fan. As you get older, you got to stay neutral. Isn't it fun to go to all these games? Yes, it is. We have to make a living going to these games. But Mike, I know you enjoy a day off as well.
Yeah, exactly. No, I do. I mean, everybody thinks that, you're sports. I mean, you must love sports. That's all you think about sports. Like, well, no, you know what? Sometimes I'd rather not. I mean, I will go back and, watch Gotham, as you were talking about, or, Sleepy Hollow or some new show on TV or, Law and Order or whatever, just to kind of get a little bit of a break because, that's to me, that's what it's all about, too. I mean, as you do get older and you start to learn some things, you realize, we need a little bit more balance here, and it's not just all about the games, or it's not just about the sports, and it's family and friends and having time to yourself, and you're right, going to bed and eating well, and not making excuses for not going to the gym. I mean, I love how that's happened over the years to everybody. It's just, I don't have time. It's like, and then when you think about it, you go, I don't have time to take care of myself. Like something is more important than taking care of myself so that I'm able to do the things I want to do. It just, if you think about it that way, you're like, well, how is something else more important than me? I'll do that other thing later, or I'll hit that meeting or whatever. I got to go to the gym, or I got to eat well. So I'm trying to do all that stuff. That's definitely a balancing act, especially when you go on the road and do all this stuff. But I mean, I love sports, but that's certainly not all that I do.
Well, real quick, a couple more minutes, Mike, and you made a really good point about, all the bowls. And at one point, there wasn't not that much cable. Now you got the NHL network, the tennis channel, the golf channel, the NFL network, NBA network. The NBA season's just started. And the bowls kind of get lost in all the 24-hour sports. ESPN3.com has got games on demand. You've got YouTube, you got Facebook, you got Twitter, you got TuneIn. There's so many. It's not like, oh, wow, you're on TV, you're a celebrity now. Everybody's got a podcast. Everybody's got a broadcast. They're not all quality. They're not all professional. But still, there's so many places to get content, and these upstart networks know that live programming is the key.
You're right. I mean, there really, really is. And I'll be the first to say, first off, I am glad because that's kind of how I have opportunities instead of a lot of other people. Like there wasn't ESPN2 and ESPNU and ESPN News. There wasn't NBC Sports Network, Fox Sports 1. I mean, if you were big time or you were on national TV, you were on one of those three networks. And, it was very tough. I mean, what were we going to do? Knock off Joe Buck or Jim Nance? I mean, it doesn't work that way. I mean, so, I think having the opportunities to be on these other networks, which are still national and still garner a lot of attention and viewership and gives you a chance to work your way up. I mean, it's been awesome. I think it gives a lot of other people on the local level too, and a chance to do what they want to do. And you can't complain for that. But there is a lot out there. I mean, there's obviously just too much. I mean,
sure.
I mean, it's just hard to keep up, and you just got to kind of manage it. That's all. I mean, but it's been great for the amount of opportunities everybody's been given.
Yeah, and the sports bars, of course, they don't know what network it is. Like this week, you'll be on ESPN News. Finally, World Series tonight. Talk about live TV. National Fox has got a great one. Game 7 might not be the most compelling teams, but still Kansas City and the Giants really are the two best teams in baseball.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you think people would be excited to watch, like I said, a Game 7 and, exciting baseball, and, boy, they took care of them last night. I mean, but it was just, I think it's great. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I think that's, all right, maybe there's not as many people, obviously, in the Kansas City market as I'm sure there is in New York, but you think if you're a baseball fan, you want to watch the World Series, hey, Game 7, that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think, they're going to gather a lot of fans from that. And, hey, cheer on somebody different for a change, I'm tired of seeing all those teams.
Mike, all the best, safe travels, and we'll see you down the road. Great job today.
Hey, thanks so much, Greg. Good talking to you. I'll catch you later.
Thank you. All right, Ken, CBS News.
CBS News is next. It's 12:31 on AM 1650.
CBS News Update. I'm Steve Kathan. Defense Secretary Hagel says he'll sign on to a military recommendation for a 21-day quarantine for soldiers who wrap up work in Ebola-stricken countries in West Africa.
Give me, within 15 days, specifics of how that would work. I believe we should review that policy within 45 days.
Maine's plan for home quarantine for a nurse who treated patients in West Africa could end up in court.
If the restrictions placed on me by the state of Maine are not lifted by Thursday morning, I will go to court to fight for my freedom.
Nurse Casey Hickox tells NBC's Today Show she's not sick. There's an update on Ebola cases from the World Health Organization's Dr. Bruce Aylward.
The total in the 3 countries is 13,676. The total, including all other cases reported, 13,703.
CBS News Update. I'm Steve Kathan.
The place for authentic Indian food is the India Palace. They feature authentic Indian cuisine, have a party hall, and do catering and banquets. Open daily for lunch and dinner, they showcase an excellent lunch buffet at their Chesapeake and Virginia Beach locations. Visit their 2 locations at 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake off of Battlefield Boulevard and 5600 Virginia Beach Boulevard in Virginia Beach, and online at IndiaPalaceVB.com. On Facebook, look for India Palace Virginia Beach and India Palace Bar and Grill. Dine at the India Palace today.
Hello, this is Big Bear inviting you to visit myself and Grandma Bear at Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you'll find the best new and gently used children's brand name clothing and equipment. Clothing from newborn to teens. Dresses, suits, shoes, strollers, bassinets, toys, and anything else you need. Little Bear's is your stop. We even carry maternity clothes. Check us out on Facebook or stop in 200 North Battlefield Boulevard in the Harbor Watch Shops of Chesapeake near the locks. Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you're always greeted with a smile.
Excellent Italian food is found at Spaghetti Eddie's, a neighborhood restaurant with a great family atmosphere and delicious Italian cuisine. Define Spaghetti Eddie's. New York-style pizza, pasta, subs, calzones, soup, salads will bring you back again and again. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Greenbrier and Western Branch. Quality Italian food is at Spaghetti Eddie's. The restaurant we've all been waiting for is here. Introducing Ipan Mano Kitchen. Critically acclaimed chef Silva Sennett and his culinary team specialize in new American Asian cuisine. The very best in Chinese, Japanese, Thai food with an American flair. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Ipan Mano Kitchen is located inside the Patrick Henry Mall in Newport News. Call 249-0033 and log on to ipanmanokitchen.com. Find them on Twitter at ipanmano.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio. It's now time for Greg's Highlights on Sports Scene, presented by DJBTV.com Marketplace Sponsors Page.
And as I said, we're doing a lot today since there's no show next week. This is Sports Scene. Hope you enjoyed that great guest of Mike Corey. Folks, got to tell you about a new restaurant in Newport News, the only one of its kind, Balkan Cuisine restaurant. They got cold appetizer plates, ceviche, which is ground beef sausages on a traditional homemade bread with kaimak and diced onions. Yum. Salko. They got burek, srnica, baklava. They've got everything, all types of beverages. And, of course, they're at 13678 Warwick Boulevard in Newport News. Give them a call at 874-0100. That's 13678 Warwick Boulevard in Newport News. Delicious types of food right there by Amir and all the great staff right there. One of a kind, family owned and operated. Hours Monday through Thursday, 11 to 9. Friday and Saturday, 11 to 11. Sunday, noon to 7. Of course, chavapi, burek, sarma. Of course, baklava, rice, vegetables, grilled mushrooms. Really, really good. They got the meat plate. It's all types of good food at Balkan Cuisine Restaurant. Go by and see Amir at 874-0100 is his phone number. You don't want to miss that place. All types of great highlights going on as well. GJBTV.com, folks. Go to the homepage, click the YouTube link, shop on the Marketplace sponsors, save the date each Wednesday from 12 to 1 for Sports Scene. Again, we'll be off next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Business Spotlight scenes coming up. What Tees Me Off, always a lot of fun. Sports highlights on NNPSTV.com. Great guests as always. And congratulations to the Redskins for finally beating the Cowboys on Monday night. And of course, we have a lot of good stuff going on. And again, thank you to all of our wonderful sponsors too as well, including El Gran Maya, featuring the finest of Mexican food and hospitality. Great lunch buffet, super seafood chimichangas as well. 887-0005. Visit El Gran Maya at 15400 Warwick Boulevard in Denby. El Gran Maya, taste the flavor today. So a lot going on. Great food specials right here. Great sponsors right here on Sports Scene. Go to GJBTV.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. You don't want to miss it on demand as well. 7th game of the World Series tonight on Fox. Should be a lot of fun. Stay tuned for our business guests and a lot more on Sports Scene on News Talk 1650. And also tunein.com, folks. Type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. Stay tuned.
The restaurant we've all been waiting for is here. Introducing Ipan Mano Kitchen. Critically acclaimed chef Silva Sennett and his culinary team specialize in new American Asian cuisine. The very best in Chinese, Japanese, Thai food with an American flair. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Ipan Mano Kitchen is located inside the Patrick Henry Mall in Newport News. Call 249-0033 and log on to ipanmanokitchen.com. Find them on Twitter at Ipan Mano.
Hello, this is Big Bear inviting you to visit myself and Grandma Bear at Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you'll find the best new and gently used children's brand name clothing and equipment. Clothing from newborn to teens. Dresses, suits, shoes, strollers, bassinets, toys, and anything else you need. Little Bear's is your stop. We even carry maternity clothes. Check us out on Facebook or stop in 200 North Battlefield Boulevard in the Harbor Watch Shops of Chesapeake near the locks. Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you're always greeted with a smile.
The place for authentic Indian food is the India Palace. They feature authentic Indian cuisine, have a party hall, and do catering and banquets. Open daily for lunch and dinner, they feature an excellent lunch buffet at their 2 establishments. Visit the 2 locations, 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake off Battlefield and 5600 Virginia Beach Boulevard. Online, IndiaPalaceVB.com. On Facebook, look for India Palace Virginia Beach and India Palace Bar and Grill. Call 410-1183 for the India Palace. Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
But first, let me take a selfie.
And Ken, this past weekend, Houston was playing Tennessee, and one of the punk quarterbacks for Tennessee, Mettenberger, was taking selfies before the game. He's a rookie quarterback. Hey, kid, this is the NFL, like J.J. Watt said. It's not high school or college football. Put your big boy pants on. This is the NFL. Kenny was taking selfies like a little girl was, Mettenberger. And guess what? Watt sacked him twice and portrayed that he was doing his own selfie. Any NFL player that acts like a punk is a reason not to watch that sport.
Yeah, he just made a target out of himself, I think.
And we're not even at what teased me off yet either. Yeah. All right. Battlefield Guns and Ammo, great sponsor right here on News Talk 1650. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us. Hope you enjoyed Mike Corey from ESPN. Let's welcome Donald Hood. Donald, it's still hunting season. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you, Greg?
Very good. Tell us about Battlefield Guns and Ammo, how long it's been there, and location.
We've been here about 4 years now, 240 North Battlefield Boulevard, about a quarter mile north of Locks. Mm-hmm. And, yeah.
And folks, for you that don't know North Battlefield Boulevard, he's talking about the city of Chesapeake. It's not hard to find beautiful weather. All right, it's hunting season still going on. What do you think the do's and the don'ts are for the beginning hunter and also the experienced hunter? Always, you got to wear those bright colors, and there's other people out there hunting. How do you know where to hunt properly at?
Well, basically, you get online, go to the cityofchesapeake.com. You can pretty much figure out the open hunting lands. Also, just make sure whatever you're shooting, if you find a big deer, make sure nothing's behind it that you're not prepared to destroy.
Very good, very good. What's in stock right now, Battlefield Guns and Ammo?
We got plenty of Glocks, plenty of Smith & Wesson M&Ps. We've got Springfield XDs, HKs, Sig Sauer pistols. We've got a variety of different hunting rifles and shotguns.
Yeah, and hunting and fishing is always a lot of fun. Donald likes both, but of course, Donald Hood from Battlefield Guns and Ammo. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us live on the radio on News Talk 1650, tunein.com, WHKT. And there's always a lot of responsibility as well. Your brother's a police officer. You know the do's and the don'ts, and you tell that whoever's purchasing a gun properly in a mature-like way.
By far. We do also offer safety courses about once a month. It's usually the third Wednesday. Mm-hmm. About 6 o'clock, so everyone can usually get off work and get here on time.
And, of course, leave us with your website. It's got a lot of great products online. Tell us about that great website.
Yes, sir. We've got 60,000 products online. Can't stock them all in the store, but it's battlefield-guns.com. 60,000 items ready to ship right to your door.
All right, well, say hello to Tom and Terry and all the great people live there at Battlefield Guns and Ammo, and we'll talk to you very soon, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, the phone number there is 410-7720, 410-7720.
The restaurant we've all been...
410-7720. That's 410-7720. And, of course, Ken, the thing is people have to be buttoned up. They've got to be responsible. And the one thing about Battlefield Guns and Ammo, it's a responsible place that it's a privilege to have a firearm.
Absolutely. I was a little worried. Donald sounded like he was about to get hit by a jet as he was standing outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is the constitutional guarantee, Second Amendment to the Constitution that guarantees that you have the right to bear arms. But with that right, as with just about every other right guaranteed by the Constitution, responsibility is a big key part of that, whether it's free speech, firearms, or anything else. So, yeah, you can't just willy-nilly have a gun and then start shooting off. You have to be responsible, know what you're doing, take the courses, make sure that you know absolutely everything about it, talk to the experts, get the right gun for your needs and for your use and for your abilities. Don't just go out and get the biggest, baddest looking gun just because it looks bad, and then you shoot it the first time and you end up on your rear end. Don, go talk to Don at Battlefield Guns and make sure you get the right gun for you.
Yeah, and one thing, too, what an ironic road. They're on Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Battlefield Boulevard kind of reminds me of General Booth Boulevard. It's kind of like that street that nobody really loves that much, but it's a lot going on. And, Ken, you know General Booth very well. That really has grown, and so has Battlefield Boulevard. Both of them have.
In my years of going back and forth between Virginia Beach and Moyock, I got to know both of those really well. And they've grown it used to be farms.
Yeah.
A house here and there, mainly open fields, and all of a sudden, whammo, boom, there's houses and buildings everywhere.
Yeah.
It's, I guess, two of the main lifebloods of Chesapeake are those two roads to head to.
Oh, yeah. And you get on Mount Pleasant Road and get right to Battlefield Boulevard from Virginia Beach. It's really, really a great road there where Battlefield Guns and Ammo is in Chesapeake. All right, we have some more stuff going on here. Don't forget, we have What Teased Me Off and a Lot Teased Me Off like each week, and a lot tease Ken off, and you just tell them a day working any anywhere will tee you off. But anyway, great guest so far. Also want to tell you, too, about Bravo Pizzeria and Restaurant. They've got a lot of great football specials, 100 buffalo wings and sodas and meat lover pizza. They got 50 wings, 2 large 16-inch pizzas, 1 topping soda, as well 24 wings, party pizza, 1 topping, 50 wings, 2-liter sodas, 24 wings, medium drinks, and of course great daily lunch and dinner specials at Bravo Pizzeria and Restaurant in Newport News at 13144 Jefferson Avenue. Go by and see Eunice. Pizza, pasta, subs, calzones, burgers, salads. They have it all. Kids menu, hot and cold subs, appetizers, seafood, you name it. They've got all types of pizza for your football party at 13144 Jefferson Avenue. Give them a call at 234-4684. Bravo means good. Bravo Pizzeria and Restaurant. Stay tuned for Sports Scene.
The restaurant we've all been waiting for is here. Introducing Ipan Mano Kitchen. Critically acclaimed chef Silva Sennett and his culinary team specialize in new American Asian cuisine. The very best in Chinese, Japanese, Thai food with an American flair. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Ipan Mano Kitchen is located inside the Patrick Henry Mall in Newport News. Call 249-0033 and log on to ipanmanokitchen.com. Find them on Twitter at ipanmano.
Hello, this is Big Bear inviting you to visit myself and Grandma Bear at Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you'll find the best new and gently used children's brand name clothing and equipment. Clothing from newborn to teens. Dresses, suits, shoes, strollers, bassinets, toys, and anything else you need. Little Bear's is your stop. We even carry maternity clothes. Check us out on Facebook or stop in 200 North Battlefield Boulevard in the Harbor Watch Shops of Chesapeake near the locks. Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you're always greeted with a smile.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's. The place for authentic Indian food is the India Palace. They feature authentic Indian cuisine, have a party hall, and do catering and banquets. Open daily for lunch and dinner, they feature an excellent lunch buffet at their 2 establishments. Visit the 2 locations, 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake off Battlefield and 5600 Virginia Beach Boulevard. Online, IndiaPalaceVB.com. On Facebook, look for India Palace Virginia Beach and India Palace Bar and Grill. Call 410-1183 for the India Palace. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
Turn down for what? Turn down for what?
Is this what Verizon and Cox say to all the radio and TV stations, Ken, when there's issues?
Yeah, I pretty much think Verizon says you got 2 choices on your service. Like it or don't.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, everything, so much content now online, radio, TV, websites, HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com, folks. Don't forget, holiday season's coming. You'll see the billboard November 6th in Newport News. And, of course, at AMC Theaters, driving out there right now, folks. He'll be up there all fall. Rachel Davis Hair Salon, of course. RachelDavisHairStudio.com, 223-8885. Good buddy. You see him everywhere, my friend, David Davis. How are you today, David?
Doing well, Greg. How are you?
Beautiful weather. It's it's funny. I met you in the spring, and it feels like it's still spring and summer out there. What is going on? It's almost November.
Well, they said it was supposed to cool down. I guess that's coming in the next couple of days. I was expecting it to already happen already. It's late October now.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the phenomenon of Rachel Davis Hair Studio. Tell us about the location and all the great services.
Hi, we're at the Oyster Point Office Center. We're 732, suite number 305 in the Oyster Point Center, Newport News. Doing fabulous things over here.
Yep, absolutely. And, of course, they're open Monday through Saturday, correct?
Mm-hmm. We're 9 to 9 on Monday through Friday, and then 9 to 5 on Saturday.
Talk about your Facebook page. You're always putting some specials up there, and also your website, too, is always evolving.
Mm-hmm. at RachelDavisHairStudio.com and on Facebook /Rachel Davis Hair Studio.
Well, talk about it, the spa experience going into Rachel Davis. It's not like just getting your hair cut. I mean, guys, if you're listening right now, I know a lot of Admirals fans out there listen to hockey, and of course, sports fans of sports scene. You need to buy something for your wife, your girlfriend, your daughter. Go to RachelDavisHairStudio.com. Get all the information right there. Really, David, there's something for everyone.
Exactly. Whether they're looking to get, some type of facial waxing, or whether they're looking for, a haircut or a style or blow dry style, that's really becoming more and more of a thing where women aren't wanting to do their hair every night. So they're just coming in, getting their hair blow dried and styled, and then going out on the town. You and I have talked about it several times before. The tattoos seem like they were really popular a year or two ago. They still are somewhat, but not as much now compared to the hair, the different colors. I think girls realize they can change their hair a lot easier than a tattoo. And you and I have talked about that extensively. Yep, it's a little bit more, I guess, transitional. A tattoo is kind of permanent, so people are realizing that with tattoos being permanent, they can change their hair color whether they don't like it, but getting a tattoo removed is kind of a bigger deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about your hours and, of course, anything coming up here for the fall.
Sure. The big thing right now is with the Halloween coming up on Friday, what we're doing is having our makeup artists do Halloween type makeup on Friday and Saturday. Mm-hmm. And I guess with the holidays coming up with Christmas and whatnot, a lot of people are coming in and actually getting their gift cards for their significant other when they're confused about what to get them.
Folks, right off of J. Clyde Morrison, Newport News, the address again, David?
732 Thimble Shoals Boulevard, suite number 305.
And the phone number is 223-8885. It's kind of hidden back there, but folks, once you go there, it's a gem in a paradise. It's the place for your beauty treatments and, of course, make your girlfriend, your wife, your daughter smile, or yourself. Go there and see Rachel and David and all the great staff, SB and everybody over at Rachel Davis Hair Studio. And David, we will talk to you soon. Looking forward, folks, when you go to a movie at AMC, you will see Rachel Davis Hair Studio, not only inside the theater, folks, but outside on the screen. That's a lot of fun, too, isn't it?
It's very exciting for us. It's all new.
It's all new, absolutely. All right, my friend, have a great Wednesday. It's hump day, and enjoy the rest of it.
Thanks, you too.
Always a pleasure. Okay, David Davis right there. Of course, you mentioned an interesting name. That's a very common name, David Davis.
I guess it is. The only one I'm really familiar with is one of the folks I work with at one of the production facilities here on the East Coast. Mm-hmm. That known him for a long time. I'm not going to say how many years. It's been a long time. But Dave Davis. So yeah, it was kind of interesting seeing another Dave Davis. But yeah, I've seen a few others here and there. Yeah. On the internet and other places too, but it's kind of a fun name, Dave Davis. Have fun with it. Sounds like a radio guy. Hi, Dave Davis with your afternoon going away. Okay.
Yeah, on the old K94 too. Absolutely. One of these shows, Ken and I, as it gets closer to the holidays, we'll reminisce and we'll just talk about radio for a good segment and just how it's changed since the 70s. Ken got involved, I believe, in the 70s. I got involved in the mid 80s, but it's always evolving. But the microphone never lies. It's always live, and it's there's nothing like doing live, Ken, compared to tape. This taped, it's hard to duplicate that energy.
It's the same if anybody has ever talked to or been in acting or drama or any of that sort of thing. When you're doing something in front of a camera, whether it's a video camera, television camera, motion picture camera, whatever it is, you're emoting to a lens, you get no reaction. The director may say something or some of the staff may say something crucial. But if you're in front of a live audience, you get instantaneous response. If you say something funny, and it is funny, they'll respond, they'll laugh, and it builds your energy up. You draw energy, if you're a good performer, from the audience reaction. And it's pretty much the same thing with radio. If you're live, you've got to do it. You can't do a second take. You've got to get it right the first time. If you mess it up, well, guess what? It's out there. It's done. Then people have heard it. And if you get people calling in, or if you got other folks in the studio you can react with or play with, it makes a big difference. So, yeah, it's a big difference between hearing somebody who's recorded something at 3 o'clock in the afternoon the day before and it's playing back now. Who cares? And somebody who's live and having a great time.
Right. Well, and we can't control what boards are going to play music on their own or commercials on their own, too. They have a mind of their own, as opposed to carts back in the day. We're right here on Sports Scene. Greg Bicouvaris with Ken Johnson. Hope you've enjoyed our 3 guests so far. We still have What Tees Me Off. Mike Corey from ESPN, great guest. Donald Hood talking about hunting season from Battlefield Guns and Ammo, and David Davis on where to get your gift certificates for your girlfriend or your wife at Rachel Davis Hair Studio. Of course, you can see them on Hampton Roads Online Mall.com. That's Hampton Roads Online Mall.com. Tell your friends. And don't forget, a big game coming up this Saturday as well is Notre Dame and Navy. Saturday, November the 1st. It'll be live on CBS. World Series tonight on Fox. A lot going on. So keep it right here on Sports Scene. Stay tuned.
The place for authentic Indian food is the India Palace. They feature authentic Indian cuisine, have a party hall, and do catering and banquets. Open daily for lunch and dinner, they feature an excellent lunch buffet at their 2 establishments. Visit the 2 locations, 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake off Battlefield and 5600 Virginia Beach Boulevard. Online, IndiaPalaceVB.com. On Facebook, look for India Palace Virginia Beach and India Palace Bar and Grill. Call 410-1183 for the India Palace.
Hello, this is Big Bear inviting you to visit myself and Grandma Bear at Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you'll find the best new and gently used children's brand name clothing and equipment. Clothing from newborn to teens. Dresses, suits, shoes, strollers, bassinets, toys, and anything else you need. Little Bear's is your stop. We even carry maternity clothes. Check us out on Facebook or stop in 200 North Battlefield Boulevard in the Harbor Watch Shops of Chesapeake near the locks. Little Bear's Consignment Boutique, where you're always greeted with a smile.
The restaurant we've all been waiting for is here. Introducing Ipan Mano Kitchen. Critically acclaimed chef Silva Sennett and his culinary team specialize in new American Asian cuisine. The very best in Chinese, Japanese, Thai food with an American flair. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Ipan Mano Kitchen is located inside the Patrick Henry Mall in Newport News. Call 249-0033 and log on to ipanmanokitchen.com. Find them on Twitter at Ipan Mano.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio. What tees you off? Presented by GJBTV.com.
And before we get to what tees me off, again, thank you to Balkan Cuisine Restaurant, 13678 Warwick Boulevard in Newport News. Delicious Balkan cuisine. Bravo Pizzeria in Newport News as well. El Gran Mea, congratulations to them opening up in the brand new building where Luigi's used to be at in Newport News. And of course, our good friends at Soprano Italian Restaurant. Go by and see Moody and the great staff right there on Warwick Boulevard as well. So thank you to all of them as well. Look forward to another great month starting Saturday as well. And of course, great college football, the NFL. We mentioned, the top 4 teams in the SEC, and 3 of the 4 are in the top 4 of the rankings in Mississippi State, Florida State in the ACC, Auburn, and Mississippi. Still a lot of college football, NFL to be played. All right, Ken, let's get to what tees me off. Absolutely, of course. And I want to get your thoughts too, but again,
scared me a minute.
I know. Of course, what teased me off is anybody interrupting me during Gotham. But anyway, of course, I think I like that show. Ken, all this news about the rocket last night. I mean, does it come down to this, Ken, that we got to tell the kids, the grandkids, the neighbors that we like to see something explode? I'm sorry, that doesn't interest me. It could have been a human being on there. It could have been a lot worse today.
It does seem like the media is just making way too much of it. And what fascinates me, I guess people's memories are shorter. Maybe if you're of a certain age, you remember it. The stock for the company that put the Antares together and launches it went down today. Folks, if you look at the history of NASA, all you have to do is do a quick Google search or do a YouTube search and look at some of the rocket launches that NASA, your government agency for space programs, put together back in the 60s trying to get a man into orbit. There were rocket explosions almost weekly. They couldn't get it right. They would lift off, blow up, or at one point, many folks will remember that one Mercury capsule where the rocket didn't ignite at all, but then all of a sudden the escape chute rocket on top just pops off. Mistakes can be made. These are very volatile fuels inside these vehicles. They're very expensive, very complicated vehicles. It takes a lot to get something off the ground and into the air. So they've had a spotless record up until yesterday. Yesterday they had an explosion. These things happen. Fortunately, no one lost their life.
Right.
They'll learn from this one and move on. People, let's move on.
Goodness, it was a failure. I mean, okay, we saw it explode. All right, let me get to these quick, Ken. Waitresses at restaurants that disappear after you put an order in.
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
I saw one at a fast food last night that was actually tucking her shirt in for 5 minutes. I said, go wash your hands, huh? People that do not answer their phone at their place of business during business hours or have a secretary. Hello, going to a voicemail if you're a business, not good.
No.
Okay, phony smiles on TV at inappropriate times. Really, Ken? Phony smiles on TV.
Yeah, well, a lot of people on TV don't have two brain cells to rub together.
Rehashing politics and labeling because of the party they're in. Look at Reagan, Ken. He was once a Democrat and a Republican. Go figure.
I agree with Glenn Beck on that issue. Forget the labels. Forget good and bad. Let's be people first. If you can find common ground, agree on that, and then discuss the uncommon ground, but get together. Come on.
Yeah. Politicians on the city council level who are only transparent during election time.
Isn't that the truth? Certain mayors who claim they're Republicans and then boost every single Democrat that comes up for election. I don't mention any names.
And Ken, we've all done this. A channel that you left the TV on the night before you went to bed, then when you turn it on, loud music or a program that is selling you something at awkward hours and times. You know, so that infomercial that's really loud, you know, that type of thing. You leave it on a channel, you think, wow, it's a really good TV show. Then you wake up in the morning, it's screaming at you. I want to thank our great guests, Mike Corey from ESPN, Donald Hood talking about hunting from Battlefield Guns and Ammo, and David Davis as well. For Ken Johnson, we'll be off next week. We'll be back in 2 weeks right here on Sports Scene on November the 12th. So stay tuned right here from noon to 1. Go to gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. I'm Greg Bicouvaris. We'll talk to you soon.
AM 1650 WHKT Portsmouth. It is 3 o'clock. No, it's 1 o'clock. That's it. It's 1 o'clock.
Is not intended to take the place of personalized professional care.